I will go ahead and Council Member Barrera on item 4.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Even though I'm aware of the information, I would like to ask Fire Chief Piñon to give us a report on what your take is as a professional, and even though I know some of the comments that were made already, but I'd like the public to know as well. Thank you.
With my report, one of the things I took into consideration is the problem we have in the city of Salinas with illegal and dangerous fireworks. We have an issue, and the thing I've been dealing with is how do we correct that? And it's my opinion you cannot eliminate or reduce the use of illegal and dangerous fireworks without an alternative. So based on this report, we need an alternative. This alternative provides an alternative for those that like to celebrate the 4th of July. It provides funding for education, which is critical in reversing any negative trend within a community, and it provides funding for enforcement activities. So based on that, I believe this is the only way we can correct the use of illegal and dangerous fireworks within the city of Salinas.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Chief. Sergio?
Just want to, also ask the folks from TNT to talk about some of the good outcomes in regards to working with the nonprofits. But one thing that the public doesn't see the report that we have, but it was over. But maybe I'll let you, Milton or Dennis, whichever one of you guys can talk about that. But there was over $1.1 million worth of sales. There was $78,000 that were charged for that the city can use to do enforcement. You want to continue? It's your number, so.
Yeah, just to let you know, my name is Milton. I'm with TNT Fireworks. I've met most of you. We want to thank the council for allowing the sale of state-approved fireworks in the city of Salinas. The last 2 years have been very productive for your nonprofit organizations. We've tried to do everything we can to keep everything organized and to work with the fire department on keeping everything safe, and also, most importantly, prior to the fireworks season, getting the safety and education information filtered out into the community. The last couple of years have been very productive for especially the nonprofits. When we first started doing or researching this endeavor with the city, the most important thing was that the nonprofits didn't have any money. Specifically, the high schools have done very well. We've worked very well with the property owners on putting the stands up in their locations and also getting them down in time, making sure the areas are cleaned up from any kind of debris. And the ultimate result is that their nonprofit organizations have made quite a bit of money. Don't like to go into a lot of detail about what they've made because of safety issues and so forth, but on top of that, the city has also made money off of the surcharge also. One of the things that when we first started looking into this, is that the feedback that we got from you all is that by implementing this program, you didn't want to incur any expense to the city. And I think the numbers have proven that there aren't any expenses incurred by the city by doing this program. The feedback we've gotten from the nonprofit organizations that have been fortunate enough to operate a stand the last 2 years is very positive. It's a turnkey operation for them. We take care of almost everything up front for them. So basically they show up to the safety and education meeting. After that time, they just show up to pick up their fireworks. We explain to them everything as far as setting up the stand, selling the fireworks, staffing the stand. They go through the process of selling everything, and then after the season's over, we return any unsold merchandise to us, and then we settle up and everything's done, and then they know how much money they've made. So it's been very productive for all of them. Average stands here in town are probably net profit around $15,000 to the organization, and that's after all their expenses, property rentals, if there's property rentals, and then also their taxes they paid to the city and then also the state. So it's gone very well for all the organizations.
Thank you, Milton.
So
Yes.
And what additional wanted to share is in 2009, the police and fire were able to confiscate almost 1,000 pounds of illegal fireworks, and last year it was only 120 pounds. So that tells you that it did discourage people from getting the illegal fireworks. And this time, I think you were issuing citations, right? At least 4. The first year was no citations, but this one at least 4 citations were giving.
That's correct.
So the program is working, and it was a pilot. So my comments to that is that we should go ahead and establish it as a permanent program for our city that allows to fundraise for all the different organizations in our schools. One thing that I would like to see is as staff comes back with a permanent program, that we try to fix the concerns that we had where the distribution of licenses throughout our city is even, so everybody can benefit from it, and figuring out best practices in other cities. I heard what they do in Stockton and what they do in several other Palo Alto. So if we're looking at some of those and improving our policies so it can be a lot more equitable and fair throughout our city. But I think you guys done a great job, and just glad that we were able to work with you and with the rest of the community, because it supports a lot of good programs in the schools and other nonprofits. So thank you all, and staff that work really hard with these folks and trying to get this program off the ground. And obviously we have some pretty good results off of it.
One final thing I would like to say is that going into this endeavor in 2009, when we were working with your city staff here has been just incredible to work with. Obviously, when we first came to town, there was a little bit of resistance, but they've been open to it once the council voiced their opinion on wanting to move forward on this. City staff has been open. They've returned phone calls right away, emails right away. I mean, it's just been a very, very, very positive experience for us working with your city staff here. They do an excellent job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chief, before we look for a motion, I would like you to, if you would briefly elaborate on your three points. I know Councilmember McSheen is not here. I know there's been some concern because of the incident in that district last year. Your comment about I think it's important to either restate or elaborate a bit on it, based on your judgment and experience. The only way to deal with illegal fireworks is to create an alternative. That's number one. And then I think this issue of short of having the funds, it becomes very difficult to even have any coverage to get after the illegal fireworks folks who are not doing what they're supposed to. But the other thing could you also comment on? I know the other thing I hear is just this issue of noise, and people are just kind of fearful, and certainly my conversations with the vendor has always been the same safe and sane fireworks mitigate that noise issue. Again, everything kind of flows from the use of illegal fireworks, and your experience is they've been doing that for a while. So just if you could comment again for the record, because I appreciate Councilmember Barrera bringing this up. I think we do want to take advantage of the power of, what channel are we on, 26? 25, and we will repeat over and over. So this one's for the record, Chief.
Okay. Again, I believe it's critical that we have an alternative. Unfortunately, the use of illegal and dangerous fireworks in Salinas has gone unchecked, and it's basically due to enforcement. We had limited staff, limited funds to do anything outside the norm of fire protection services that we provide, and it also impacts law enforcement. As far as enforcement, it does provide funding. We now have a snapshot of 2 years of how much revenue is going to come in to allow us to provide better enforcement. I just met with Commander Morfino today on some plans for this year. So if council continues this program, we have some ideas. He threw out a lot of good ideas. Getting resources out for enforcement is difficult because of the 4th of July. It's a popular holiday. However, he did share with me similar programs that law enforcement use where they can actually bring in other law jurisdictions to assist with enforcement activities. This funding could pay that. So there's an opportunity for a mutual aid type agreement with neighboring law enforcement to help enforce. We do really need to we have the funds to do it with what's in there now. We do have some remaining funds from the previous 2 years, and we're looking forward to sitting down with law enforcement and putting together a good plan. And the public education part of it, what I didn't mention earlier today was every handout or every bag of fireworks that is sold contains public education data. Just on safe practices and so forth, which is very, very critical in this. And I'm looking forward to working with Commander Morfino, putting together a new approach. We're refining it as we go every year, and I really think we can make a difference. And with the noise, anything that goes up and goes boom loud is illegal and dangerous. And I live in the Salinas, born and raised here. I've lived here all my life, and I see what's going on out there. And there was a reduction. There are some block parties we definitely need to address, and we will.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Chief. All right. With that, I'm just going to ask the city attorney, do I want to take 4 separately, because it sounds like Councilmember Sanchez has requested
to make improvements to the permanent ordinance.
So let's take
separately.
Let's take 4 separately. So can I get a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move approval.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Ann, you want to do the deed?
Councilmember Barrera.
Aye.
Councilmember Craig.
Aye.
Councilmember De La Rosa.
Aye.
Councilmember Lutz.
Aye.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Yes.
Mayor Donahue.
Yes. Okay. And then Sergio, if you want to.
Just like to move on number 4 is that staff comes back with improvements in a permanent ordinance that also addresses the issue of equal distribution and fair share throughout the city, and then figuring out alternation or how to. I want to leave it up to staff and work with TNT and all the rest of the folks to figure out an improved version of the pilot project ordinance that we had, and copying and pasting some of the stuff in other municipalities to make it equal and fair and all that other stuff. So that's the only thing that we need to tweak, and that other than that, it's a long motion, right? So just for staff to improve and make it bring it back to us.
But you're within the 2-minute mark for a motion. So
Do you
is
need
there
a second?
Okay? Any additional comment?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to thank Mr. Melton. I believe that your work ethic is what sold the product to the city, and I was very happy to work with you as one of the council members here, so thank you very much for all your good work.
Okay,
and
thank you.
If I could also just clarify one small point on the ordinance is already a permanent ordinance in place and in effect. I think we were bringing it back pursuant to your resolution 2 years ago, just to give you an update and give you an opportunity to revisit, which I think we've heard from you today.
Because we called it a pilot project, right?
We did in the resolution. However, the ordinance there's nothing impermanent about it. You could have revoked the ordinance or taken it off the books, but right now it's in effect, it's in place, and we can certainly review the issues you've requested us to look at.
Okay. Ann?
Councilmember Barrera.
Aye.
Councilmember Craig.
Aye.
Councilmember De La Rosa.
Aye.
Councilmember Lutz.
Aye.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Yes.
Mayor Donahue.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, everyone.